one of the most important virtues that we can possibly possess. It's so important that if you don't mind, I'd like to give you a little historical example. About 1384, there was a certain king who reigned over England and towns in the north as well, and he had absolutely no sense of humor at all. He was a dreadful person to know. Therefore, he had to engage a professional jester. And the jester, contrary to the king, had an enormous sense of humor. I mean, so enormous it was vulgar, in fact. And the jester and the king lived together. I don't know why, he must have been a very peculiar king, in a very old-fashioned castle. It was quite modern in those days, but it'd be old-fashioned if it was standing now, because I'm talking about 1384. It had no hot and cold or modern convenience of any kind. A dreadful place to live in. And therefore the king, when he wanted to wash his face on purpose, and his hands by accident, he never wanted to wash his hands on purpose, of course, found he had to do so while washing his face. I dare say you've had the same trouble yourselves. Anyway, whenever he wanted to do this, he had to do it in an enamel basin, which had a crest on it, because he had no sense of humor. And the basin was placed in a very old and dilapidated-looking wooden box, which also had a crest on it, done in poker work. And the basin was so shallow and the box was so short that the whole structure was extremely low. And the king, when he was washing his face on purpose and his hands by accident, he was in a very stupid position. Well, now, he happened to be doing this one day, and across the ante-room that he was doing this in walked the jester. And seeing the king in this stooping posture and having this colossal sense of humor, he just couldn't resist it, you see. And he gave the king a most resounding kick on that portion of his sacred person which was most conveniently situated to receive such a salute. And the king was frightfully annoyed. He really was terribly annoyed. And he said, look here, he said, you can't go round kicking kings you can't go round kicking kings. And unless you can find an apology which is even more outrageous than the original insult, I shall have you beheaded. So the jester, summoning all his tact, said, I'm frightfully sorry, Your Majesty. I had no idea it was you. I thought it was the Queen.